Welcome back to Supernova Traveler. If you are new, thank you for joining our Travel Around the World family. And if you are returning, thank you for sticking around, sharing my channel, and continuing your journey around the world with me as we finish up the Haunting of Bly Manor, the Romance of Certain Old Clothes, Episode 8. In this episode, we witness the birth of Bly's Manor. We watch as bad behavior in life, such as selfishness, stubbornness, manipulation, and pride, slowly poison the soul and creates a spirit that has unfinished business. This episode was all about the history of Bly and how it all started with two sisters who fall into a love triangle. Elder sister is Viola and younger Perdita, who have just lost their father and they wish to keep their standing in society during a time when wealth was only attached to men. Viola is set on finding a husband whom she can control and keep power over Bly. The show starts with two sisters against the world and slowly the tables turn.
Viola knew them for what they were: gluttons, opportunists, vultures.
Viola hatches a plan with her sister to keep Bly Manor in the family.
No, Bly must stay in the family, and the sisters must stay in control.
Viola finds a distant cousin for her sister and herself to entertain.
And just as Perdita began to feel the stirrings of a true interest in the young man, Viola explained she was late.
So he chooses which to marry. Although he grew close to Perdita in Viola's absence, the cousin chooses Viola to marry. Viola did not marry for love. She married to keep Bly under her control. She created this plan with her sister, but soon plans and loyalty changes.
And obey, to love, cherish, and obey.
One thing you will learn about Viola is that her word is her bond. When getting married, she purposely refused to make the vow to obey her husband.
The vicar believed this an innocent omission. It was not.
Because she has no intention of doing so. She is a woman who wants to be held as an equal and does not want to make any false promises to God or any man. Soon after getting married, Viola becomes restless. She sleeps, she wakes, and she walks the halls of Bly Manor. She has no schemes to plot. She believes this feeling is that she has fallen in love. But I think the feeling that is stirring is not love but boredom, from the settling of chaos. She at the moment has won. She at the moment has saved the manor and found a husband that will follow her direction and is good and honest. But sadly, troubles begin to stir again when Viola gets pregnant and has a baby.
Bly belongs to you, and they will try to take it from you as they did me, but I will not let them.
In this moment, we see how selfish Viola is. First, she plotted to keep Bly Manor with her sister, saying it was her sister and herself's safe haven. But so easily she is swayed to now making promises to her daughter only.
It is you, it is me, it is us.
By her words, Bly belongs to Viola and her husband and sister are just guests. Viola slowly becomes sick and is diagnosed with the lung, for which we know today as tuberculosis. In her stubbornness, she refuses to repeat her rites and refuses to die. She holds on to life for years, making the people, mainly her sister, to struggle. In her self-hatred, she pushes her insecurities off on Perdita and starts to treat her poorly.
You must repeat the rite.
No, I do not go. Tell your God.
Viola walks around as a living corpse, refusing to die for many years.
Held alive, some would whisper, by stubbornness alone.
She is jealous and doesn't want anyone else in the home to find happiness.
Why, what are you doing out of bed? You'll catch a chill.
I didn't want to miss the ball.
Her soul is jealous, stubborn, miserable, and wants to drag everyone down with her. As she continues to become more sick, Viola puts everything of value in a trunk for only her daughter to open when she comes of age.
My rings and my lace and my silk, they will be a great inheritance for our daughter.
One day, when Viola's husband leaves Bly Manor for a business trip, Perdita has had enough, and she murders her sister.
Down her shoulder and her elbow, until the word came to live in her hand. The word.
Sadly, with Viola finally gone, things don't get any better. Viola, now deceased, Arthur finds familiarity with Perdita and soon marries her in private. Perdita was unable to bear children and feels haunted by the memory of her sister. It is as if Viola has cursed them because she is unable to have what she wanted while she was alive, and she also wants her sister to fail. After Arthur's marriage with Perdita, business suffers, they fall into financial ruin, and Perdita argues with Arthur, her now husband, about opening the jewels and silks Viola left in the trunk for her daughter. Arthur stands his ground and does not allow it. Behind his back, Perdita goes into his office and steals the keys and goes to open the chest. And with the opening of the trunk with all its jewels and silks, Arthur finds Perdita in the morning deceased by the trunk. It would suffice me to say that the spirit of Viola, in all its selfishness, stubbornness, relentlessness, upon death had unfinished business. She wanted what she wanted, and she would not be denied. Even in death, her spirit would cling to the idea of seeing her daughter, all grown up, wearing the wealth that she had left in the chest, to her. So now we see the story of what experience Viola had in death and what led to the haunting of Bly Manor.
One day the Locks would see their keys, and one day Isabel would open her mother's trunk and claim her reward, both of their rewards.
Viola awakes, confused, knowing that she is dead but not quite understanding. She is in the trunk, her spirit lies with all the jewels and clothes she had while she was alive, awaiting the day her daughter will open the trunk and see all the things her mother has bestowed upon her. As Viola waits at the door, the moment of time past is unknown to her.
And day after day, night after night, the moment finally came.
She finally hears the keys, thinking that she will see her daughter. She is surprised to find her sister. In that moment, she takes her revenge and murders her sister Perdita. But of course, that is not enough for Viola. She must wait to see her daughter come of age. Arthur decides, with a failing business and lack of money, to live a smaller and more simple life and leaves Bly Manor.
But Arthur had grown a superstitious man and had seen the horror on Perdita's lifeless face.
Arthur, finding Perdita dead near the trunk, now believes that the trunk is cursed, that his marriages were cursed.
Whatever curse had claimed his second wife, he would not risk his daughter to its icy fingers.
Viola, not privy to what is going on outside the trunk of clothes and jewels, finds herself submerged in water.
This absolute abandonment had shattered Viola's heart.
After she had denied death for so long, she now denies moving on spiritually.
It isn't safe. You mustn't be in this wing without protection.
It is believed that she creates her own gravitational pull on Bly that now traps other souls.
Her gravity, it seemed, her invented gravity that held her to the grounds, that kept her in purgatory, it would hold others too.
All those that die on the grounds of Bly are trapped within her pool. These spirits have to endure the same fate, which are the hauntings of memories. As she did in life, Viola does in death. She sleeps, she wakes, and she walks the grounds and halls of Bly looking for her daughter, wandering around with a stubborn, broken heart, restless.
In her daughter's old bed, and could not remember who she had been hoping to see.
As time goes by, she begins to forget who she is. The water disfigures her face, and the only thing the spirit knows is that it is waiting for a child.
And here was a child. It must be the child whom she'd sought.
Just as Viola was rotten in life, her spirit rots in the afterlife, or limbo. Please remember to subscribe, like, and comment as we enter episode 9, The Beast in the Jungle. Back in the present, everything has hit the fan. Hannah Gross has finally acknowledged her death and that she needs to help the living.
Dominic is dead. Charlotte is dead. Rebecca and Peter are dead. I'm dead.
Danny has been caught by the Lady of the Lake, who we now know is Viola Lloyd.
Please, let her go.
In an attempt to save Danny, who for some reason hasn't died yet from the Lady of the Lake's vice-like grip. Flora jumps into the bed of the forbidden room, and in seeing a child in the bed, Danny is released and Viola now picks up Flora from the bed. No one helps Flora as she is carried off to her soon-to-be watery grave. Danny reaches the Lady of the Lake before, and she utters the words, "It's you, it's me, it's us."
It's you! It's me! It's us!
The Lady of the Lake accepts the offer, releases Flora, and everything just stops. An immediate weight and darkness is lifted from the grounds of Bly as Viola takes up residence in the mind, body, and spirit of Danny. Danny goes and lives her life with Jamie, although the spirit of Viola is inside laying in wait.
Well, there's your problem. Your roots.
Soon the day comes and Viola makes her way to the surface of Danny's mind and finally claims Danny. Danny and Viola sleep together as one at the bottom of the lake.
The gardener said the words she'd heard those years ago.
If you want to see the true ending, watch the episode. I just wanted to cover the most important parts and give you a little bit of my takeaway. The story is about love, but what it showed most was how people can corrupt love, mistake it for something completely different. Viola never knew love because she was incapable of loving. She only knew need, want, selfishness. She lived her life only knowing what she wanted, which eventually corrupted her soul. It took the soul of a complete stranger to whom would give of herself for people she barely knew, the children she barely knew, to save every person in spirit. And that is a selfless love, a love that had no quid pro quo. In the end, the Lady of the Lake was no longer lonely, no longer angry. Maybe because she was able to live life through Danny, or maybe because Danny's love was able to quell her hate and anger. Tell me what you think in the comments below.